Hello everybody, my name is Rolak, and welcome back to Pikmin 2. Possibly the last, well, very much obviously going to be the last episode because there's not really much else to do in this game, of Pikmin 2. Last time we kind of just went over all the co-op stuff, being the challenge mode, the battle, straight up just battle mode, it's not a clever name for it or anything. And in today's episode we're going to be going over every other little minor detail that's really left in this game, starting with the title screen. Well, aside from this beetle that just popped up here, let's see. So by pressing R, that would spawn in the beetle. And pressing R again, I guess, despawns it. If we press plus, the Pikmin will disperse. No. If we press minus on the Switch version, this is different buttons depending on what version you're playing. Pressing minus or R on the GameCube version will cause the Pikmin to disperse and come back to spell Nintendo. Yeah. Pressing R spawns the Flint Beetle. Is that correct? Pressing L is supposed to spawn the Bulborb. Let's try going back to just the Pikmin 2 title screen. I don't know. It's a little inconsistent. Let's see. Now let's try and spawn the Bulborb. Does this not work on this version? It has to. Okay, well, there's the beetle again. But I didn't even control him to come on. Okay, there he is. I don't know what I did to spawn him, but he's here now. Pressing ZL or any of the Z buttons on the GameCube or Wii version will cause him to bite. You can make him move around with the D-pad. Just a neat little Easter egg here. It's supposed to spawn in when you press L or 1 on the Wii version or X on the GameCube version. Yeah. And you just press plus to get them to go away. And from eating a few Pikmin, I do believe the title will also be a little messy. If it is. A little bit. There's some missing there. Anyway. Okay, now that that's all done with the title screen and all that jazz, even though it didn't work most of the time, what we're here today is going to be discussing some additional bonuses that will be popping up as you approach certain days. So, starting day 30 and every subsequent day afterwards, well, not exactly, but it's very specific. Day 31 specifically is when things start to change up a little bit, and of course all the enemies have respawned because I mistimed everything. So we want to grab a lot of whites, mainly because they're going to be important for one reason or another. You will see. Having the enemies here really is not going to work well in my favor, but we don't really need to worry about that. Now, where we want to go exactly is somewhere very specific. You, my friend, are going to cause everybody to lag behind if we keep up with that. Really only takes a day for everybody to respawn, huh? It's fine. There are Shearwigs. Lovely. At least the cannon beetle isn't here. So, past day 30, because, you can never get past day 30 in the original game. Starting on days 31 and respawning every 30 days afterwards, such as day 31, 61, 91, so on. These things pop up. These things are called Ujadani. They're weird little bugs that are poisonous, oh, Jesus Christ, poisonous to every other type of Pikmin except for whites, but they drop a overly large amount of potions, nectar, just all the good stuff. So if you're ever low on anything, come around here during day 31 because it is eventful. These spawn not only here, but as well as over near this area over here in this little spot. And pretty much the exact same results. No idea what these things are, by the way. The wiki doesn't really state a lot of these. Really anything about these things. They're kind of just a mystery thing. They did have apparently an e-card of them. And they're, oh, that's really disappointing at the rub there. And the description is as follows. A group of ticks that can be found everywhere. It has no notable characteristics. However, the ecosystem is mostly composed of this sort of simple organism, and that showy, unique animals are no more than one part of the ecosystem is true of any planet. Yeah, I don't know. The creatures don't have an English name, as it's only ever really referred to as Ujadani. Which combines the Japanese words uja, which means it's in swarms, and the words dani, mushi, meaning tick or bug, respectively. Yeah, they're just little bonuses if you ever want to come back to the Whistle Wild and pick up some extra potions. They appear near the Hole of Heroes, and close near where the Dream Den is. And that's pretty much the only locations they do spawn in. Now then, with that out of the way, we don't have to worry about anything else in this area. That is it. I will make some comments on this, the music that plays if you haven't collected 0 treasures at all. If you're looking to build up your Pikmin numbers, the Awakening Wood is very, very good for that. 10 pellets of each color spawn occasionally throughout the day, as well as the only 20 pellet that can really be found in the game is found in the Awakening Wood as well. A lot of enemies are still there, a lot of pellet posies and stuff. The Valley Repose is also decently good for numbers, but not as many pellet posies as the Awakening Wood, or for that matter, the Crash Site in the first game. Yeah, don't worry about the numbers. Now, as for mail, after a certain amount of days pass, Olimar's wife will just send the exact same email over and over and over again. These emails will only pop up after you collect every single treasure, and then there's a few other emails that will follow beforehand. Once you collect every treasure, there are a certain amount of different types of letters depending on how much treasures you've earned, how much of the debt you've paid off. There's a lot to it. There's so many different letters. I'm not going to go over every single one of them. You can check them on the wiki if you want. I want to bring attention to this one in particular, is spam. So spam mail, you get these every few days or so in between some normal emails. In the GameCube and I want to say Wii versions of this game, this actually had a link to, I want to say it was the Pikmin website. Let's see exactly. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Spam. Yeah, Nintendo. It was either the Pikmin website or the Nintendo website if it was on the Japanese version. Apparently it also worked for the Switch version as well. But after a while you will just get the same letter over and over again by Olimar's wife. There's a lot of different categories. You can look them all up on the wiki. How many are there exactly? Does it say? No, it doesn't. Alright, anyway. Onwards to the perplexing pool for the next bit of interesting trivia. Now, for some reason, this didn't happen when we were playing through the game, but the earliest day you can get here, which is day 3 or 4, eggs will kind of just drop in the middle of the, like in the front of the base, for some reason. All right, nope, not that one. We want to grab purples. Not a lot. And we want to go hunting, because there's a certain individual that's kind of hanging out somewhere. Well, aside from the shearwigs. I think we can hear him, actually. I actually have proper headphones in this time, so I can actually hear the game properly. Where is he? Ah, there he is. Yeah, starting on day 31, a spotty bull bear will just spawn and start walking around the spring. But okay, well, that's a bit unfortunate, but I really don't care. Starting on days 11 as well, some of these dwarf bull bears will be popping up as well. Alright, and we're going to ignore those guys. One other thing left on this, in this area in particular. Just for this area in particular. Don't know why they didn't do anything with the other areas, but there's only so much you can do, really. Now let's get out some yellows. And if we go around in this area... There he is. Yeah, starting on day 30 and every day starting on... Every day starting from... What the hell am I trying to say? Starting on day 30, 31 to be exact, a beady long-legged will spawn in this little area over here. Why? I'm not too sure. But when defeated, he drops a bunch of 1 pellets. Very nice. And that's pretty much all there is to really show off. I could, you know, show off all the different kinds of, like, every single kind of, like, interesting Piccolopedia entry or the Treasure Hoard entry, but it's like, there's so much. There's a lot of cool, like, little tidbits here and there about certain creatures, certain treasures and stuff like that, but I just don't feel like going through all that. If I'm being perfectly honest, I find it a little unnecessary. So we're just not really going to bother with that. There is one more thing to show off, though, and that's probably what we're going to be ending off the episode and this Let's Play off, really, is there is a bonus video that unlocks after you've completed a perfect on every single challenge mode. And what that means is that you have to go through each of the challenge mode levels without losing a single Pikmin. Which isn't that difficult, just a bit tedious. So, it may take you a while, but don't worry too much about it. The cutscene doesn't play even after you've done it all, so you have to go into the bonuses menu. I should also mention, the bull bears and beady longlegs respawn every day ending with a 1. I don't know why, that's just how it is. Alright. Now then, let's take a look at this last little bonus. The bonuses are literally just cutscenes and stuff, that's all it is. But let's take a look at Louie's dark secret. The president entrusted Louie with the golden pick carrots. But Louie couldn't suppress his powerful hunger. And he ate every last one. Then he falsified his report to the president, which led to Hocotate Freight accruing an insurmountable debt.